Announcing solutions for the city's surging gun violence and homicide rates.
It is offering incentives to officers outside the Bureau and to people who will come to the Bureau in support roles. Our Liz Birch walks us through those incentives.
Mayor Ted Wheeler said today in that city council meeting that PPB staffing is at historically low levels. Of course, he and city council are hoping these incentives could change that.
The ordinance is adopted.
In today's city council meeting, Portland Police Captain Anthony Passador explained retirements ramped up in 2020.
Not only are people becoming retirement eligible, but historically across the nation, one of the trends we're seeing is people used to come up on their retirement date and they wouldn't leave necessarily right away the profession and retire. They'd stay 2, 3, 4 years extra. The trend today seems to be people leaving sooner to their authorized retirement date.
In exit interviews Coyne obtained through a public records request a year ago, many retiring officers blamed their decision to leave on a lack of support from city leaders, low morale, and ongoing riots. The Bureau said then they had fewer officers than they'd had in modern memory. The ordinance passed today gives lateral police officers or officers with at least 3 years of continuous service up to $25,000 for transferring to PPB. Support staff, or PS3s as they're commonly called, will get a bonus between $3,000 and $5,000. While he was voting to adopt the ordinance, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler talked about why he feels this is necessary.
My colleagues and I hear from constituents every day who are very frustrated by the shortage of officers available to respond to their calls for help. And frankly, we have an obligation to use every tool that we can to address this historic staffing shortage.
Commissioners also voiced their support.
With the challenge that we're facing of over 107 vacancies, that's a challenge. And at this moment, our city really needs a bureau that's operating at full.
The ordinance says those bonuses would need to be paid by September 27th and can't total more than $500,000. In a statement to Coyne, a PPB representative said, quote, "It's also important to note that this is use it or lose it funding. What isn't used during the fiscal year must be returned to the city," end quote. Portland Police told me today that PPA, that's their union, will have to negotiate the exact dollar amounts. I did reach out to PPA, who told me they don't have a statement at this point. We'll let you know if that changes. But back to the vote itself, everyone who was present at that meeting voted in favor of the ordinance. Commissioner Joanne Hardesty was absent. In Portland tonight, Liz Birch, KOIN 6 News.